What is going on, guys? Don't worry, E doesn't know either. Welcome back. Commentary 41. I think my sponsor, Steel Supplements, link and discount code down in the description. Pin comment, free supplements if you want to pay the shipping also. I'm a Weeble preferred influencer. All you got to do is open an account with that link, deposit just $5. They will guarantee you at least $11 worth of free stock. Get stronger, get more money. What else do you need in life? Well, a lot of us need a better football game. That's what we're here to talk about. EA Sports, Draft Logic. This is them selling you the game Madden 22. And you know what? We're going to have to draw a line in the sand. If you feel like, because I'm going to go over some of your comments at the end of this video, if you feel like this is just pertaining to the first round, when they say enhance the logic teams use in the first round, that they only improve logic for the first round, I guess that's up to you. But when I go on to read this, and it talks about decision-making when on the clock, trends in real life, awareness of where they are in the draft order, alongside other factors like depth chart at the position, players available at the time of pick. To me, this shows, relative to the available players across the boards, they're going to be making better decisions. Let's bring in Maury real quick. Maury, you can see here with Clint, he's determined this gameplay improvement is a lie, guys. I know a lot of you are going to get mad at me. We talk about it later on. I bring up some of your comments and respond to them. I know you're upset, but guys, this is Maury. This isn't me, all right? I'm sorry. I want to talk to you about something else I skipped over in the last video that's clearly much more important than I first thought. This is Madden 22. We all know that for sure, right? This is the NHL, this is the brand new hub that they put into the game. Now, played a lot of football games in my life, played a lot of video games in my day. I don't ever recall this happening. Okay, this is the game going to load. And if you're familiar with programs, this is the user interface. So can you explain to me why behind this user interface is apparently the past version of Madden that we no longer get to see and interact with? Because you're going to see right now, Frank Wright in his office, this was literally the franchise experience from the past few years. This did not just happen to me. I've got another clip here. This is from a next-gen console. He's in a different screen. And just for a split second there, you can see it loads up the Titans office. Why is this game loading past generation interface on current generation assets? That to me says that this is running in the background, or at least is there. This is a really big deal. Some people sent me some very authoritative emails about me just glossing over this. Like it wasn't, just happen chance. To them, this shows that it's the same data, just rearranged. It's the same game. There is no excuse for this to be running in the background. It should be gone. It's supposed to be a rebuilt game mode. So, with that said, let's talk about some of the comments you guys leave. I don't mean anybody to be malicious to these guys or rude to these guys. This isn't even a mean-spirited comment. Okay, but this is just a lot of what I hear. Okay, my dedication and hate for EA is so passionate, unparalleled, but hey, it's warranted. Props to me for calling out EA. Let me tell you something. I don't hate this game. I know you guys think that I do. I don't. I want this game to be better. I feel bad for this game. I feel bad for our community. We're obviously in a very bad state with, to me, a company that doesn't even love its game. I firmly believe Madden needs love. Madden needs passion. Madden needs people that want to make a better game and work on it. And quite frankly, I don't see that in the final product. I don't think the people working there love it. So it needs us to love it. It needs us to help it along. I don't hate this game. Now, the second and the most kind of ridiculous sentiment that I get is that somehow, if I stop buying it, or I stop complaining about it, or I, buy it to make videos, I don't know why some of you guys haven't figured this out. Do you realize that YouTube, for so many of us, is thousands and thousands of dollars a month, a week, a year? And that talking about a game and having a following generates a lot of revenue, whether it's me criticizing the game or somebody ripping open packs. That doesn't change. Spreading information, sharing information, doesn't change what's happening in the moment. But it can change what happens in the future when more people are educated and informed. That's why this game's Metacritic rating has went off a cliff. Not just because of me, but because of channels like mine. So people are learning. Now, we're going to get into the whole concept of the fantasy draft, because this one really astonishes me. Brock here says, in a fantasy draft, you draft 53 players. It's a full roster. However, In real life, if there was a fantasy draft, teams wouldn't prioritize a punter or a kicker because they could just go sign them in the preseason and free agency. Here's the thing, Brock. This isn't real life, dude. There's been no fantasy draft to get this information from. So when someone leaves a comment like this, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me as to where the data would be generated from. All right. Likewise, when you talk about Chris here saying, if you advance a week, the AI is going to go sign all these specialists because they don't care about special teamers during a normal free agent period. I don't know where we're headed with this, right? It's not just Chris. I'm going to show you 3 other comments, right? Pick up a kicker in the free agent pool. Fantasy is about stacking your team with the best of the best. Go get a kicker later. So I'm going to show these final 2, and then I'm going to kind of give my rationale for why I don't subscribe to this logic. I understand what you guys are saying, but I never draft a kicker or punter. Why waste a pick? And then you can see you can sign one from the free agency heap. I don't normally draft a kicker in fantasy football. All valid points. These are exceptional points with one caveat, okay? We're not playing Tony Stark's football. We're not playing Chris's football game. We're not playing Mike Hawkins' football, okay? We're playing Madden. We're playing an NFL simulator. So what you would do, what I would do, has no relevance, okay? What would a team do? Now, to go back to the first comment, you're going to have a really hard time explaining to me that someone sat down at EA and they programmed logic into this game specific to fantasy drafts where certain teams, like the Colts, who I believe have one of the better management teams in the NFL, and the Panthers, are going to intentionally not draft punters and kickers for the sake of focusing on skill positions to make the best team and then pick those players up in free agency. That's going to be a really hard draw for me. Because when you go back and they talk about the draft logic they've put in the game, none of that has ever been mentioned. You know, the reality is you're looking at how these teams build out full rosters. A full roster should be ready to go on a field. It should not be ready to go after week 1, after a preseason game. It should have enough depth to sustain itself, and it should be able to play a full season. In these examples, I would say meaningless depth was brought onto the team, like a 6th string wide receiver, without care for the fact that there was only 3 linemen to accompany 2 positions, when you only have 1 center and 1 guard. So you can really fractionally break apart why a lot of teams would not build the way these teams built, but to me there is no excuse, including there must be special draft logic, including, well, that's not what I do in fantasy football, including, well, they just wanted the best skill positions when a team can't complete its needs in a single draft. Now, if some of you want to go back to the beginning of this video and say, hey, that was actually only saying they improved logic in round 1, so the rest of the rounds don't matter. Hey, that was only saying they were focusing on quarterback logic. Nothing else matters. Then I guess that's on you. But I would say if that truly is what EA's intentions were, right, to go back, and I, to be fair, did not read it at such a molecular level when it initially came out. I look at improvements and I take them at face value. We're improving draft logic. Okay, draft logic's going to be improved. I don't expect them to say we're improving draft logic, but only with quarterbacks in the first round. But that's what some of you seem to think they were indicating there. Other than that, really interested with how you guys feel about that and seeing that old footage in your new Madden. Love to know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out, and you know I will be back in the week to love on Madden.